This is one both of us got to see, and that is Pacific Rim Uprising. You want to go ahead and read that one?
Yes. Jake Pentecost is a once promising Jaeger pilot whose legendary father gave his life to secure humanity's victory against the monstrous kaiju. Jake has since abandoned his training only to become caught up in a criminal underworld. But when an even more unstoppable threat is unleashed to tear through cities and bring the world to its knees, Jake is given one last chance by his estranged sister, Mako Mori, to live up to his father's legacy.
Whoa. Hang on, guys. Actually, you know what? I can just switch right back here.
Yeah,
I forgot to put a camera in that scene.
Well, we don't have lower thirds no more, so it does not matter.
Yeah, we don't have lower thirds, so we can just switch back to another scene.
Yes. Makes it much easier, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, technical things about our show
Technical
aside. Let's talk
jargon
about
aside.
this movie.
Yes.
So, do you want me to go ahead and lead this one off?
I'll start this time because you
Go
just
ahead.
did Death Wish by yourself.
Go ahead.
As someone coming from never seeing the original Pacific Rim, yet owning it on Blu-ray, don't ask me how
Or
that
the first Pacific Rim.
the first Pacific Rim.
You can call it an original because this doesn't feel like the same. Go ahead.
Oh, wait a minute. We may have just peeked into his mind a little bit with that comment. But anyway, I actually enjoyed the Uprising quite a bit. I thought it was pretty. I had moments that made me outright laugh and chuckle in the theater. I enjoyed those. I enjoyed it a lot. John Boyega was pretty cool as the lead character. It was almost like they shuffled everyone that was out from the first one out, except for, like I said, Marco Mori. No, but would it be 10 years later? It couldn't have been the same girl. Couldn't have been the same actor.
Mm-mm. Nope.
So like literally the only one they brought back from the first one was Newt and
Oh well, yeah. Wait, the one that. Never mind. The one from the helicopter.
Yeah.
Yeah, she wasn't first.
Oh, she was?
Mm.
Okay. So outside of her and Charlie Day and the other scientists, with Charlie Day and the other scientists with the cane, everybody else from the original Pacific Rim was gone. And maybe with them being gone, maybe a lot of stuff I didn't see in the first one went with it. And that might be what you're getting ready to say, isn't it?
Well, I'm not going to compare this to the first one, but visually, this movie was great. The action scenes, excellent, and just well done on the action scenes. I thought they were great.
Mm-hmm.
Kaijus looked awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The Jaegers looked awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And just I guess, besides that, yeah, that's about all the awesome in this movie. Oh no, John Boyega was awesome. Boyega was awesome. I'll give him all that credit. He was great. He executive produced this movie, or I think not executive, but he produced this movie. But yeah, John Boyega was great. So he gave himself a lot of good lines, I guess. So, but as far as the writing and characters, they're pretty bad. Now, when I'm thinking about the writing for this movie, particularly the dialogue, I imagine a pizza. You work at a pizza place.
Okay. I like where this is going.
Yeah, and just it's like imagine like a Little Caesars type pizza place, just cheese pizza. That's it, just plain cheese pizza, nothing special, nothing, just a plain cheese pizza. Okay, so that's the dialogue in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Now, imagine you're a delivery driver for this pizza place,
mm-hmm.
and you drive a really, really bad car,
mm-hmm.
a car and you're expected to take this cheese pizza and deliver it to somebody, and you got this really crummy car, and you can't. And then now to add in another character to this analogy, a guy comes in with a gun, yes, or just not a gun, no gun. Forget the gun. But he does say, deliver this pizza or you're going to die. Now imagine this pizza delivery driver. He's got this really plain pizza that nothing special. And he's got to deliver this really plain pizza or he's going to die. That delivery driver, his name is Scott Eastwood. He could not deliver those terrible lines to save his life. He was really bad in this movie.
I have to admit that as soon as you said the delivery job was Scott Eastwood, I thought back to everything he said in that movie. I'm like, oh boy.
I have not liked Scott Eastwood in the past. I've actually made that known on this show when he tried to say that he wanted to be the next Wolverine. I kind of joked about that. But and then I said, well, I'll hold off my judgment on him being Wolverine till Pacific Rim Uprising. And boy, was I not let down. He was pretty bad.
He was trying to be the gruff military dude who's also friends with the main character.
He struggles to be likable is his thing. He struggles to come across as likable. And he does not come across even slightly likable in this movie. And that was not, I know that wasn't the intention. He'd had one good line in this movie that I think he got, it was like right at the end with Charlie Day. I think you know what I'm talking about.
I said, looks like we caught ourselves a newt.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
That was an okay line for him, and I think he actually pulled that one off okay. But the 99% of the rest of his lines were pretty bad.
I see what you're saying, but maybe I didn't feel as bad. Maybe because I don't have like an inner... F that guy in my heart. So I see where you're coming from. I just don't feel it like you do.
Oh my gosh.
I just don't. I understand what you're saying with the line delivery being kind of, but I didn't think he was like.
Oh man, when you try to be that intense so often, it just does not go over so well with people. And I don't know, he I don't know, he just didn't do good in this movie. The girl in the movie though, the younger girl that, you know, I don't remember her name, but she was
Naman,
something like that. Yeah,
Namani.
Yeah, the one that built her own little Jaeger.
Yeah,
what was it called?
Scrapper.
She was pretty good in this movie.
Yeah,
I liked her. I liked her character background that they did. That was a really actually pretty neat scene. The way that when they were showing them drifting. Or is that what it's called?
I think it's drifting. Yeah,
drifting. Yeah.
Because they're linking minds.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty neat.
And I have a question. About the logistics of Pacific Rim.
Okay.
All these Jaegers have to have two or more pilots, because the stress to control one puts too much on your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And yet we see this little girl build one, and it doesn't have no neural link required. Is it just due to
maybe it's because of the size is so much smaller?
Is it basically like controlling more like a tank than a giant robot?
Yeah, this one might be more mechanical than whatever.
Because that's why anybody can pilot it, as we see in this movie.
Yes.
Okay, when you see it like that, it's just more about her just getting the functioning parts working without actually doing the whole. Like, okay, I see what you're saying now. It's not so much like this one may be like 20 feet tall, whereas these are like hundreds of feet tall, and you need all the focus you can get to control this ungangly beast as a person who's this big against it.
Yeah, I
see what you're saying.
but I thought that maybe I don't know. Maybe the movie was definitely a trimmed. This was a very what is the word I'm looking for? Not trimmed. Lean movie. They put as little. They give you just enough information in this movie, which I would give some credit to the editing in this movie and the writing.
One thing I did appreciate to this movie, and I appreciated that if you're here, you may not have seen the first one, but if you have, there are bits and pieces here for those people, but you didn't feel like you needed to watch the first one as prior homework, and I appreciated that, where they did things where they played with character history in a way where it didn't feel like, remember this from the first one. Yeah. Remember this from the first one. You know, it felt organic and natural.
There were some callbacks, but even some of the characters that were in the first one, especially like Charlie Day, he was not the same character in this movie that he was. But there's reasons for that.
Yeah, there are reasons.
But that was the other. That brings me to the next thing, which is. I'm not going to spoil anything here, but the villain in the movie, it was a nice little switch that they did there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a switch that happens that I kind of thought was kind of clever. I thought it was a pretty clever switch where you think one person might be a villain and you don't know quite yet, and then it kind of just changes a little bit.
Yeah, because it's almost like they telegraphed it so well.
Yes.
For the switch to come, and almost like anything they did, you would like, okay. They presented this person as cold, unfeeling, and all this. Then all of these things go down. It's obviously this person.
Yeah.
And then when it's not, you go, wait, what?
But they it would have. I think it would have gone over a lot better had there not been this one scene in an apartment where the person that's actually the villain goes back.
I thought that was a clever scene.
It was a clever scene,
because
and it was neat to see, especially when you hear about the conversation he had previously with another character about them experiencing what he was doing in that apartment.
No, if you actually was paying attention, he was actually inviting him over for dinner with her.
Right.
Like, basically, like, join me again.
Right.
He was basically, like, trying to lure him back into the one thing he doesn't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if I bring him back to my apartment, maybe he can see what I see, and with his intelligence, we can truly take over the world easier.
That's not what...
And that was more of that's more of a sinister... knowing that now.
But that I know, but yeah, knowing it now. But I think it made the big reveal a little less impactful.
Not because maybe I'm easily entertained. You know?
I know, but if you saw his actions during that scene, that's what I'm saying. It was like, oh well, this was, it was an interesting twist, but I think it was a little less. I kind of saw it coming after seeing that scene.
But you also have to take into account that this was 10 years after the original Pacific Rim,
right?
So basically. What they're trying to say is he's been doing this 10 years.
Yeah.
So he's almost is like a connection he has with this thing that he like is almost like he treats it like he does. He comes home, talks to it because he's been doing it 10 years.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and review this thing. Or not review, but let's give our score for this thing.
Score it.
You go ahead and score it.
To me, I may have said before, I might be easily entertained. That should be a shirt. EJ's easily entertained. I don't know. But I'll give this movie an 8.
An 8?
An 8, because I enjoyed it. The fighting was cool. I also think it's cool how they say all the people are gone. Go for it.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, this building is now a weapon.
Yeah.
It's like, well, when the monsters have already destroyed it all, what's there to try to save? And I like that logic because most movies they try to like, well, save what's left. It's like, we gotta build one foot stomp, one monster stomp, and crushed everything, the foundation to the surrounding buildings everywhere. So go for it.
Mm.
So I thought that was pretty cool how they just say, okay, gravity beam, pull these cars in. They're now all one big metal rock. I thought those scenes were cool. So you know what? That gets a quarter point for me. 8.25 now.
I will be just slightly
Mm-hmm.
below. Mine's going to be up 7.75.
Okay.
So just slightly below an 8.
So I think we want to round out to an 8.
Maybe.
No,
7.8. I'll give it 7.8 out of 10.
Okay, that's like a really random.
It's close. That's 7.75.
Yeah.
If you rounded it up. But, yeah.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
All right. But I just won't go quite into the B. Or the 8.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I'm going to go home. I'm going to get some time, watch the first Pacific Rim now, and maybe even do a review for it on the show by next week. Who knows?
Oh, the first Pacific Rim, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.